My name is Michael Nazir-Ali. I'm working with the persecuted churches, but also doing some teaching based in Oxford. I used to be a bishop in Pakistan, and then the head of the Church Missionary Society, and then Bishop of Rochester.
Bishop, we hear people nowadays say that the Bible isn't very clear and we have to interpret it ourselves. What would you say to that?
The Bible is a collection of books, of course. It is a collection that's been put together over hundreds of years, and it has many different kinds of literature in it. So there's poetry in the Bible, there are visions in the Bible, there are historical books in the Bible, and there is moral teaching in the Bible. So how we handle a part of the Bible depends on what kind of section of the Bible it is. But the Bible is quite clear about the demand that God makes on us and how we respond to that demand. Of course, the Bible also teaches that God gives us the means to respond to what He asks of us. But it is quite clear about how we are to respond to God's demand on us in how we live, in our relationships with other people, and of course, most of all, in our worship of God. When there is any kind of question about what a particular part of the Bible may mean, then there are different ways of settling that question. One is the Bible itself. So one part of the Bible should be able to interpret another part, if there's any lack of clarity about that. So, for example, the teaching about God making man and woman, making them in His own image, giving them a mandate, and then later on, concessively, there is permission for divorce. But then Jesus, when He teaches about marriage, goes back to the original teaching, which is God's intention for man and for woman. So when we are thinking about marriage in terms of the Church's teaching on marriage and how Christians should live in singleness or in the married state, there is a great deal within the Bible itself for us to be able to say clearly what is God's intention for man and for woman. The clarity of the Scriptures goes hand in hand also with its sufficiency. So that is what the Bible teaches is sufficient for us to live according to God's grace and according to His plan. And it also implies, of course, the authority of Scripture. That is to say, the reason the Church reads the Scripture and the reason Christians read the Scripture is because it is God's revelation to us. It's not just an interesting book about what human beings have thought down the ages. It is that, of course, but it is much more than that. It is God speaking to us directly and evoking our response.